Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far. So for today's video, we are going to be nosying into my top drawer. If you don't know what I mean by this, and why would you? My top drawer in my makeup desk where I get ready, where I store all of my makeup, that is my most used, my favorites drawer. I don't keep palettes in there and I don't keep foundations in that specific drawer, but everything else from concealer to brows to blush to bronzer to highlight to primers, etc. My absolute favorite ones in all of those categories is stored in this drawer. I haven't filmed this video for about a year, so there has been some changes. There have been products taken out and there have been a whole lot of products put in. So I thought it'd be interesting to update you and to show you what I have in my top drawer, and I'm also going to be taking you through my top foundation drawer because that is another drawer where I store my foundations, but again I keep a very limited number of foundations in that top drawer, which is like my most used, my go-to, the ones I use most frequently on a daily basis. So today we're going to be having a sneaky little route through those drawers and seeing what we find. So here she is, the infamous top drawer. So this desk is Alex drawers. I have two sets of Alex drawers and then this tabletop on the top of them, and then I have another drawer set on top of this one at the back where I keep my foundations. So in here is all of my kind of go-to day-to-day products. This insert, by the way, is from IKEA. I think it's actually designed for like clothes or accessories or something like that, but it's perfect for holding my makeup, and I just like the way it looks versus like the white insert. I just see it's easier to keep clean. That's the truth of the matter. So let's start off with this back compartment here. So usually in here, I just keep these kind of base products that aren't really foundations or concealer or anything else. There's a couple that I use the most frequently of my collection. So we've got the By Terry CC Serum. This I mainly use in summer when I'm going makeup free and I just want my face to kind of match my body and not look too bonkers, because it's much, much lighter when I've got a tan. And then Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter. I use this a lot more at the moment because I love mixing this in with my Lisa Eldridge foundation to give it a bit more glow. You know, I love a glowy foundation. The Lisa Eldridge isn't that glowy, so I like to use this one to just give it the glow that I'm missing from that foundation. The one thing that I would love to change about it, and I can easily do so with that. I also have some backups. This is kind of where I keep my backups of products. So I have a Huda Beauty Brow pencil. I cannot be without it, so I always have one ready to go, because it always surprises you, brow pencils, that all of a sudden they're gone and you're absolutely done for. So I always have one ready to go. I've also got a 24-hour brow setter from Benefit in there, and I also have a Pat McGrath Dark Star mascara. Now I don't have that in stock at the moment, in stock like I'm a shop. I don't have one open on the go at the moment because I'm using my Bite Beauty, and I only like to have two mascaras on the go at any time. Otherwise I just feel like they're going to expire and go past their best all at once. You're better off not opening one until you've kind of finished one. So I only ever have two on the go at once. So once I've gone through my Bite Beauty, I'll crack that bad boy open. So there's also this little square compartment at the back here. Ooh. And this holds my Sisley powder, my loose setting powder, really the only one I really ever use with any regularity. I don't use it that often, but when I do set my makeup, I use this one. So that just lives in there, and it's special from my powder drawer because it's the only one I really use that often. So next up I have this kind of larger compartment in the middle here, and this is kind of my staples, my go-to. This is like the stuff that I use every time I use my makeup. So I have my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, really the only one I've ever enjoyed using quite frequently. I use that a lot these days. And then I have my Tatcha liquid silk canvas, and then I also have my new Nars soft matte primer, which I'm really enjoying at the moment, and I have a little mini MAC, this is the Skin Refined Zone. I don't use this very often, but if it's, you know, hot weather, sunny, it's summer, and I feel like I might get a bit shiny on my nose throughout the day, then I will pop a bit of this just on my nose area. Here's the aforementioned Huda Brow Pencil that's always in there. The two mascaras I have on the go at the moment are the Bite Beauty and the Charlotte Tilbury, my kind of two favourite mascaras at the moment. And then I have a brow gel, the Benefit 24-hour brow gel, and then I have my concealers. So I've got two shades of the Pat McGrath. At the moment I have 13 and 9 in here. I have about 10 different shades of this concealer, but the two that I kind of am using at the moment are 13 and 9. I'm kind of mixing, depending on the foundation I'm using, 13 or 9, or I'll mix them together. And then I have one shade, the shade Taupe, of my Tom Ford concealer. All my other concealers live elsewhere because these are kind of the only ones that I use like day to day. And then I've got this Nars concealer. I talked about this in my most recent favourites. This is new to me, and I'm loving this for priming my eyes for eyeshadow. I absolutely love it because you can use the tiniest, thinnest layer and really buff it into the eye area, and it just covers everything perfectly and beautifully, and it's not cakey or too heavy. It's just perfect for that purpose. So that's kind of moved into here, which is a good sign. So that's the kind of staples section. Now back here I have all my Laura Mercier blushes, and they're kind of in the order that I use them the most. That's how I know where to find what I'm looking for. So as you might expect, Bellini, of course, is right at the front. Then we have Passion Fruit, which is another big favourite. Let me just move that shadow so you can see the colours. Then we have Peach. I think that was the one that started it all, you know. Peach was like my first shade that I picked up. This is Chai. Then we have Grapefruit, stunning summer colour. And we have Fresco, which is one that I kind of tend to reach for once the winter comes because it is a bit lighter. So those are all my favourite Laura Mercier blushes, and I keep those in there all together. Happy little family. So yeah, I tend to keep things in a sort of order so that I know where I can find them. Then I have my three favourite Nars blushes in the front there. So we have Orgasm X, lovely bright pop colour. Then we've got Taj Mahal, probably my favourite Nars blush, possibly. And then this is Savage, it's gorgeous bronzy shade. Those are my three favourite Nars blushes. It's fit perfectly in there. Then we've got this large compartment, which again is full of bronzer, blush and highlight. The only bronzer that I don't keep in here that is like a go-to daily staple is the Charlotte Tilbury, just because it's too large for this drawer. So here I have my Victoria Beckham Bronze Contour Duo. That lives right in the back there. Very, very much loved. Then I've got my Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Glow. Then we have all of my Pat McGrath blushes, as well as the highlight that kind of came out with that collection. So I keep the highlight at the back just because it's got the same packaging, so I know it's that one. And then again, I keep my blushes in like favourite order. So that's Desert Orchid, of course, goes right at the front. Then we have Nude Venus. So those are kind of my two most used from that collection. Then we've got Paradise Venus, which is the most neglected because I think it's actually gorgeous and I love it. Every time I use it, I think I should use this more because I love it. But I kind of just forget about it with those other two. It just gets forgotten. I need to reach for that one more. And then Electric Bloom, which is that gorgeous bright pop shade. So again, I know that the highlight is the back and I know that my favourites are at the front. And then of course we've got my most treasured Divine Rose highlight, Pride of Place, at the front of that section. I then have one of the Dior highlights in here. This is Nude Glow, that's right, Nude Glow, one of the new formulas of the Dior highlight. That's my favourite one. My favourite Charlotte Tilbury blush, which is Walk of No Shame, lives in here, the only Charlotte Tilbury blush to make it in there. And the only Hourglass product that I'm still kind of using, which is the At Night blush. And then I then got a couple of MAC blushes, again, very underrated. Naturally Flawless is one of their mineralized blushes, just a perfect neutral blush. One of their Extra Dimension blushes, this is Cheeky Bits, this is my favourite. I think it's the only one I really kept of that formula, because it's just, I mean, look at it, it's gorgeous. Oh, and then my Becca Tiger Lily, look at it, just so gorgeous. And then I have my favourite MAC blush, which is Pinch Me. Again, it's just a perfect kind of go-to everyday shade, very easy to wear, goes with every makeup shade, every makeup look. So that is kind of that next section. All the little random brands in there together, hanging out in harmony. And then lastly, this little section over here, again, a bit of a mishmash of brands and products. So I have the two Birds of a Feather blushes. I can't remember the name of that one, and it's not annoyingly on here, but I know this is Nude Glide. So you have the two shades of those blushes. Really love those ones. They went straight in my top drawer. I've got my much loved new Hermes highlighter. None of the blushes ever really stayed in here for very long. They moved quite quickly down to the next drawer, but the highlight, I feel, will be a very long-term resident in here. So I then have two shades of the Pat McGrath Under Eye Setting Powder that I love. And the newest addition to this drawer is the two shades of the Victoria Beckham eyeshadow, the Lid Lusters that I picked up. So Chiffon was the new shade that I reviewed. And I loved it so much, I picked up another shade. I picked up Honey. So Honey is a little darker. Chiffon is like, kind of like lighter champagne-y taupe shade. Honey is a bit warmer, more yellow. You can see those. So I like to keep these in here. Really a surprise that these ended up going in here, but I just really are perfect for like a bit of bronzer in the crease and a bit of shimmer on the lid kind of day. So that's how come they made it in there, although they are a little bit messy. A very shimmery little finger now. And the last most random product in this entire drawer is this MAC Single Shadow. This is Trompe l'Oeil, and this is limited edition from one of their collections. It's just the ultimate perfect brow bone highlight for my skin tone. It's now like gone, I think, but I grab for this whenever there's not a brow bone highlight shade in a palette that I'm using, so it just lives in there, so I know where it is. And that's that top drawer. So as you can see, if you watch the first edition of my top drawer route around, then a lot of products have left and a lot of new ones have come in. So it is quite interesting to see, you know, what stays in here over the year, because I do kind of move things around as I get attached to things and I realise I'm reaching for them a lot. They move in here and something has to move out. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Now here is my top foundations drawer. So I have a big drawer full of like 100 foundations, but this is my top drawer. It's the top of my vanity. I have it mirrored. This side is for my winter shades. On the other side of my vanity, I have the exact same foundations in all of my summer shades. So these are my real favorites. I don't try to fill the drawer. There's loads of space at the back, but I just like to keep these ones in here, really keep it small and limited as to how many I keep in here at one time. So first up we have the Dior Forever Natural Nude. That's kind of my go-to for like a more natural day that I like. And then we have the Tom Ford Soft Matte foundation. Next up, the Chanel Healthy Glow Foundation, Hydration and Longwear. Of course, we have my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate in there, Pride of Place, can't see that leaving anytime soon. Then my newest entry to this drawer, the Lisa Eldridge, of course, went straight into Pride of Place in this drawer. Then we've got the Cle De Peau Cream Foundation, the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue. This looks a bit funky. It seems to separate because the SPF in there, like in the drawer, but it doesn't really affect its use, and you give it just a bit of a shake up before you use it. It's fine, but it doesn't look the best. Then we have the Shisedio Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting, another big favourite of mine. And lastly, we have the Cle De Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation Natural. And that is my drawer of favourite foundations. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this little nosy, this little route around through my drawers. Were there any surprises, or was it exactly what you expected to be in there? I'd love to know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.